Hey, how's it going, guys? So we're going to be checking out another Halo video. If you're new channel, welcome. This video is by the Templin Institute again, so shout out and credit goes to Templin Institute for the video. And this one is about the UNSC, United Nations Space Command Army. Now, as we know, the UNSC is the faction or the group of humanity, or humanity's hope against the Covenant. And basically, it's the entire military, the Marines, Navy, everyone. And that's where the Spartans come in too. So basically, I guess that's pretty much structured as humanity united against the Covenant. But I mean, besides it be called UNSC and just seeing the military personnel in the game, there's a lot of things I'm sure that I do not know. So hence why I'm watching this video. So without anything else, let's just jump into it.
The UNSC Army is the premier terrestrial armed service branch within United Nations Space Command. Its mission, distinct from that of the UNSC Marine Corps, is to provide prepared, swift, and sustained planetary dominance.
Oh, so this is about the army?
Force of all
Wait, so this one's about the army, and is there another one about the Marines then? I'll take a look into it.
United Earth government military services. It is an integral element within this greater structure, embodying the strength and resilience necessary to not only defend, but advance the collective interests of humanity in an ever-changing and challenging galaxy. Though not officially founded until after the conflict, the Army considers its origins to lie in the Interplanetary War, the devastating conflict fought across the solar system between 2164 and 2170. In the Rainforest, Argyre Planitia, and Jovian campaigns, amongst others, the United Nations, predecessor to the UEG, was forced to unify the military structures of its constituent nations. Its success in this area would provide the groundwork for the defeat of the Kosovic and Friedan ideological movements, the establishment of United Nations Space Command, and the future of humanity across the Orion Spur.
Whoa, look at that animation.
By the latter years of the immense colonization effort, known to history as the Domus Diaspora, the UNSC Army, now a formal branch of the United Earth government, found a natural role in garrisoning the frontier and
Oh, so we're talking about a branch, the UNSC Army. So I'm guessing there's going to be one about UNSC Navy or UNSC Marines and probably UNSC Air Force. But I didn't even see anything about an Air Force. So, but either way, I thought this was just talking about the UNSC in general, but this is about one of its branches. So my mistake, correction.
protecting colonies and outposts from whatever dangers the galaxy might present. Its operations in this era were relatively small scale.
Hey,
Limited
OSTs,
brushfire wars
ODSTs,
on
I mean.
Earth from lingering Kosovic or Neo-Friedanist movements, or civil and military infrastructure projects on developing colonies. In 2494, the rapid escalation of resentment in the outer colonies towards the UEG, and the extensive insurrection that developed from it, redirected the UNSC Army from a loose coalition of garrison units to its historical role as a highly trained, well-equipped, and motivated fighting force. The immense military buildup, a reaction to the insurrectionist threat, expanded the capabilities of the force, and would ultimately prove essential in the far larger conflict that followed.
Okay,
The Army's service in the Human Covenant War.
So basically, it sounds like they were just a garrison of securities and just protecting colonies here and there. But looks like due to the launched attacks of the insurrections, they went from a garrison to a organized military army, and then officially became a branch in the UNSC to fight against the insurrectionists. Interesting.
War between 2525 and 2552 was largely overshadowed in the public consciousness by the more dramatic actions of the UNSC Navy and Marine Corps. The nature of fighting, the
That explains a lot
genocidal
why I didn't hear
tactics,
a lot
and
of the
severe
army.
technological disparity that human forces were forced to operate within meant that the army achieved very few major victories across the entirety of the war. Its successes, though hardly rare, were ultimately short-lived, quickly reversed, or of limited strategic value. Though it fought with immense distinction on Harvest, Reach, Earth, and hundreds of other worlds, it was only after the conflict had ended that the enormous contributions made by the army were recognized by the UNSC.
Ah,
For 30 years, it had
after
fought
the
against
war.
a vastly superior foe, delayed their advance across worlds vital to the UNSC war effort, and provided the time essential
That
for
was a
greater
sad moment in
successes
the Reach
elsewhere.
game.
In the post-war era, the UNSC Army has seen a slight pivot back to its more limited role as garrison forces. Its units have been redeployed across both worlds devastated by the war and the first generation of new peacetime colonies. Continued instability across Covenant successor states has prevented any kind of total demobilization, however. Many of its larger formations have been reinforced, while the immense institutional knowledge acquired over the conflict have drastically improved its efficiency and lethality. It retains in the modern era the ability to rapidly expand its operating forces as the developing political system demands. Though the environments in which it has operated have undergone significant changes, its core mission remains the same: the defense of Earth and its colonies. Yet,
Like I
its
said, they're
ancillary functions
pretty much a
continue
security
to
force.
expand with the development of interstellar civilization. The UNSC Army is increasingly tasked with providing engineering and logistical services in the development of civil and military infrastructure. It helps train the civil defense units integral to the coherency of UNSC space in everything from leadership and management, technical skills, humanitarian assistance, and peacekeeping or stability operations. And it continues to jointly develop the doctrine, procedures, and equipment necessary for the continued fulfillment of its mission. In accordance with the combined arms doctrines favored by UNSC leadership, the Army maintains a close relationship with its sister services. Ground operations undertaken alongside marine assets are coordinated within Unified Ground Command to ensure synchronicity in military operations across terrestrial battlefields. The Army and Air Force, meanwhile, by virtue of being the two services expected to act without major, organic, spaceborne elements, are also closely integrated. Their major role as garrison forces across UNSC worlds has sometimes led the Army to be described purely as a defensive force, but it has maintained the ability to conduct large-scale operations on foreign battlefields, exploiting and expanding beachheads established by the UNSC Navy and Marine Corps. Divisions consisting of between 10,000 and 15,000 soldiers are the building blocks of the force, divided between armored, airborne, infantry, and other such units. Special Operations Forces are also seen as pivotal to the success of the branch.
So basically, it was thrusted. They were like thrusted more into the war when the insurrections attacked, and that's why they got a lot more support because we need their help. But however, it looks like they were overshadowed a lot by the UNSC Navy and Marines, which explains a lot because every single Halo game you play, it's all Marines and Navy. You really don't see the Army in there. So they kind of got overshadowed, kind of like, ODSTs and Spartans, because I remember that one video where it talked about ODSTs and Spartans by Installation 00. ODSTs were the special forces, and they were doing really well, and they were recognized, and they were the heroes. But then when the Spartans came, the Spartans pretty much were, godlike soldiers, and they pretty much, every victory they achieved pretty much overshadowed the ODSTs because the ODSTs can't even keep up, or they can't achieve what the Spartans can. So it kind of feels like the same thing here. And it's pretty much almost the same thing as the U.S. Army as well, because the U.S. Army also provides more security and logistical and engineering purposes rather than like front lines, because the front lines, they always send in the Marines. And so basically there is like similarities between the UNSC Army and the United States Army. But then again, technically in this universe, the UNSC is the future of the US Army.
Ranger units in particular are a highly specialized light infantry unit, famed across the UNSC for their expertise in special reconnaissance operations.
Recon units are
Ranger
always
units
famous.
are often seen as a potential path for acceptance in the Spartan 4 program. Additionally, the UNSC Army operates a limited maritime force, or wet navy, on worlds dominated by oceans or similar features. Humanity exists in a galaxy as mysterious, complicated, and
That's a cool
dangerous
shot on
as
Halo.
any other time in its history. In this environment, the necessity of the UNSC Army is without question. No other force in no other time has ever been asked to give so much, and given it so readily. For 30 years, they fought the battles where the results were inevitable, but surrender unthinkable. Their success, achieved at unimaginable cost and only recently recognized, has cemented their place at the front of every advance and the heart of every defense. None alive today can judge what ancient threats or new terrors might threaten the survival of the human race. But it will forever remain an absolute certainty that whatever might emerge from the dark will be met by the guns, tanks, aircraft, and warships of the UNSC Army.
Okay, that was a really great video. So instead of talking about the UNSC in general, it was the UNSC Army. So overall, they were pretty much overshadowed by two other branches, the Navy and the Marines. But however, their achievements were not small because since they were primarily focused on defending Earth and the colonies, that is a huge help because that way the Navy and Marines can focus on fighting the battles on the front lines without worrying about some of their homes or some of their people being attacked. So that is huge. And on top of that, looks like, now correct me if I'm wrong, is the ODST fall under the Marines or the Army? Because I saw a lot of images of the ODSTs. Or are they like their own little group or faction, so to speak? But either way, the Army is a huge help, but like I said, they were just overshadowed by the Marines, just like how the ODSTs were overshadowed by the Spartans. But either way, this was a really great video, very informative, and the Templin Institute did it again. So that's all I got for today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And also shout out to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I really do appreciate it. So without anything else, I'll see you guys next time.